Hey guys, Shanq Koo right here, and you're watching another episode of Growing with Wisdom. I've recently shared a video about the misunderstandings people have regarding introverts. And of all of them, the most common misunderstanding would be that because introverts are quiet, it automatically translates to that they are not a team player or that they are not contributing. Now, a quiet person may not necessarily relate to an introvert. It could very well mean that the person is shy and they do not like to speak. But nonetheless, finding our voice in this extroverted world is not an easy task. Imagine this scenario. You're in a meeting and someone is presenting a brilliant idea. And you're thinking, hey, I could contribute to that. And you don't want to come across sounding foolish, so you start taking time to formulate your response. And by the time you're ready to answer, someone else might have already contributed the same idea that you wanted to, or the presenter had already moved on. And all's left is that you're sitting down in your chair feeling stupid, self-blaming that you have missed the golden opportunity. See, in this example right here, I've demonstrated one very important thing about finding your voice, and that is timing. Now, before I reveal any more secrets to you, I want you guys to click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to stay updated to my updates. The first step to finding your own voice is information gathering. Everyone can speak, and everyone has something to say. But for someone to take you seriously, there must be some way in your words. Meaning, you must say something useful. And sometimes, the difference between a good idea and a bad idea is really how you package it. In order to contribute effectively, you need to first gather as much information as you can regarding the topic that the person is speaking about. And to do this, we employ two very simple skills that you already know, which is listening and observation. One of the biggest problems with communication these days is that we listen to reply rather than we understand the reply. If you want to give an effective response to someone's questions or proposition, you need to listen and do it well. Everyone that's holding the floor hopefully has something useful to say. And your job as a participant in that meeting is to listen well and ask any questions if you want to clarify them. If you're asking questions for the sake of asking questions, everyone can easily tell. And do it often enough, you might end up rubbing people off the wrong way. In communication, spoken words occupy about 7% of the information you receive. Tonation, about 38%, and body language occupies 55%. That is to say, if you are only listening to the words of someone who is speaking, you are only receiving half the information they require. There is one thing they taught us from day one in med school, and that is from the point where the patient walks in from the door to where the interview chair is. We should be able to tell 3 things about our patient even before we start our interview. And that is the power of observation. It should not be seen as a special tool, but rather like listening, a tool of information gathering. The second tip of how to communicate effectively is through the idea of formulation. I've mentioned previously that before we make a statement or ask a question, we often think of them in our head so we can present them smoothly. But if you have done debate or public speaking, you will realize it's actually not so easy to do it quickly without practice. What I did over the years was to develop a framework to help me deliver my points. To do this effectively, I ask questions or make statements. For example, if someone makes a point about how social distancing reduces the spread of coronavirus, a question replied to this statement would sound like, can you explain the science behind how social distancing reduces the spread of coronavirus? Whereas the statement reply would sound something like, so you're saying, by implementing social distancing, we are reducing the spread of coronavirus because less people come in contact with each other. So you see how this question and statement helps you to give an effective reply in the shortest time possible. The third tip of how to communicate effectively is to catch the right timing. I've mentioned this in the example that I gave at the beginning of the video about how it is crucial to find the right timing so that you can share your points effectively. Now with the first two tips out of the way, we are ready to talk about how to present your idea. To find the right timing, there are actually certain tricks to how to do it. The easiest way is to listen to it preemptively. So what I mean by this is we listen to a conversation carefully, follow it, and find the right time to interject your idea so that it doesn't sound like you're interrupting. Often people do this at the end of the sentence or the end of the idea that someone is presenting. Another thing that I do quite often, it is to create my own window of opportunity. So what I do was to mirror back the last few words of what someone else has said and use this in order to create my own sentence and present my point at the end. Let me give you an example. Let's say that someone made this statement: in this COVID-19 outbreak, toilet papers are valued more than food. An example of a reply that utilizes mirroring would sound like, you're saying that people value toilet papers more than food. Why do you think it's the case? The advantages of mirroring is that not only it allows you to deliver your point effectively, it lets you do it at your own time, and it also shows that you're listening to the presenter. So this is one of the neat tricks that I will always use in order to share my points effectively. So these are just some of the few things that you can think about, and hopefully it will help you in your next business meeting to get more brownie points from your superiors. Thank you for watching. Let me know if there are any comments or feedbacks. I'll see you next time.